शलाकयः चक्षुर उन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. In the continuation of reading the book Srila Prabhupada's Lilamrita, in February of 1961, on Vyasa Puja Day, the anniversary of the appearance of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, Bhakti Vedanta Swami was again in Vrindavan. In honor of their spiritual master, some of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta's disciples had gathered, offered flowers before his picture, and held congregational chanting in the temple. Bhakti Vedanta Swami thought that they should be doing much more than that. They should be planning and executing the worldwide preaching mission that Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati had desired. Instead, they were a gathering of independent individuals, each with his own small idea, each maintaining a small center or leaving it a center, but with no world programs, not even a program for India. Most of them had no plans or vision beyond their own bodily maintenance. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati had asked for a governing body to conduct his movement, but there was no governing body, and practically there was no movement. Some who had fought bitterly were again on speaking terms and feared that any sudden organizational attempts now might simply stir up old animosities. At least they could gather together and make an offering to their spiritual master. Amongst his god brothers, Bhakti Vedanta Swami was a junior sannyasi. Although a recognized writer and editor, he had no temple or followers. Yet he knew he was trying to follow Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. He saw himself helpless and alone against the vast force of Maya. His god brothers were not an army united against Maya's force, but were more like apathetic monks growing old, holding on to religious principles and rituals devoid of life. How could they gather to worship their spiritual master without distressfully admitting their failure and in the spirit of better late and never than never trying to rectify it? Since the custom on Vyasa Puja Day was for each disciple to write an offering glorifying a spiritual master and to share it within the assembly of God brothers, Bhakti Vedanta Swami wrote an offering more like an explosion than a eulogy and humbly placed it before his God brothers for their response. Even now, my God brothers, you return here on the order of our master, and together we engage in this puja. But simply a festival of flowers and fruits does not constitute worship. The one who serves the message of the Guru really worships him. Oh, shame, my dear brothers! Aren't you embarrassed? In the manner of businessmen, you increase your disciples. Our master said to preach. Let the neophytes remain inside the temples and simply ring the bells. But just take a good look at the terrible situation that has arisen. Everyone has become a sense enjoyer and has given up preaching. From the seas across the earth, penetrate the universal shell, come together and preach this Krishna consciousness. Then our master's service will be in proper order. Make your promise today. Give up all your politics and diplomacy. If the disciples of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati could join and preach together, there was every chance that they could create a spiritual revolution within the sinful world. That had been the hope of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, and Bhakti Vedanta Swami expressed that hope in his Vyasa Puja offering. When will that day come when a temple will be established in every house in every corner of the world? When will the High Court judge be a Gaudiya Vaishnava with Tilaka beautifully decorating his forehead? When will a Vaishnava winning votes be elected president of the land and preaching be spread everywhere? As he read the poem, its truth exploding in the midst of the gathering of aging sannyasis, some approved and some were incensed. The meeting, however, took no new direction. They did not sit down together and plan as he had pleaded. Swami Maharaj's poem was taken as another poetic expression or as an opinion. The God brothers were inclined to let the old wounds heal with the passing of time, to go back over the whole thing again and reconstruct the mission as it had been before when Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati had been present, and to attempt all those ambitious programs. How was it possible? They were getting old. Some did not want to leave the shelter of Vrindavan. They would worship Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati within the holy dham. If Bhakti Vedanta Swami could do something more, let him go ahead and try. Bhakti Vedanta Swami returned to Keshi Ghat thoughtful. For many years, he had been unable to take a leading part in the mission because of family commitments. In 1935, in Bombay, his godbrothers had even asked him to be president of the Mata there. But Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati had said that it was not necessary that Abhay Charan join them. He would come in his own way. Now, by the grace of a spiritual master, he was ready to fulfill the meaning of sannyasa. The Krishna conscious world he had described in his poem was not a utopia presented merely to incite his god brothers, a dreamer's talk of the impossible. It was possible, but in any case he had to write and print Krishna conscious book and preach abroad. It was what Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati wanted. If his god brothers would not do it jointly, then he would do it. In January of 1961, one of Bhakti Vedanta Swami's Delhi acquaintances had shown him an announcement for the Congress for Cultivating Human Spirit, a convention to be held in Tokyo, May 10 to 20. The theme was World Peace through Cultivating Human Spirit. International participants were invited. As soon as Bhakti Vedanta Swami had seen it, he had wanted to go. Although his main interest had always been the US, if Japan presented itself first, why not? And their invitation was in English. If they accepted his reservation, they would pay for his board and lodging at the convention hotel, although he would have to pay his own travel expenses. Bhaktivedanta Swami wrote to the sponsors, the International Foundation for Cultural Harmony, and proposed a speech. How should one cultivate human spirit? The Secretary General of the foundation, Mr. Toshihiro Nakano, wrote back to him at Keshi Ghat expressing his high regard both for Indian spiritual culture and for his proposed presentation. Mr. Nakano also enclosed an official certificate as he had requested, stating that Bhaktivedanta Swami was a bona fide visitor to the convention whose expenses in Japan would be paid. They requested, to whom it may concern, that his passport and visa be granted in time for his May 10 arrival in Japan. Bhakti Vedanta Swami then conceived a special project for the convention. The 10th canto, 20th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam presents a description of autumn in Vrindavan, and for each seasonal phenomenon, the Bhagavatam presents a parallel teaching from the Vedas. For example, it compares the dark, cloudy evening of the rainy autumn season to the present age of Kali, when the bright stars of Vedic wisdom, the saints and scriptures are temporarily obscured by a godless civilization. The chapter contains dozens of such examples, and Bhaktivedanta Swami proposed 50 commentaries to accompany 50 illustrations to be displayed at the convention. He began preparing the commentaries, which he entitled The Light of Bhagavata. He wrote directions from which an artist could design a painting to go with each lesson from the picture. 50 pictures and commentaries Bhaktivedanta Swami felt would make an impressive display for visitors at the convention. The convention organizers liked the idea. As for your proposal to get pictures drawing by artists according to your suggestion, the Institute Department of the Congress will immediately take people disposal for it under the full consideration of about some specific idea of picture which will be given to us by you. So I should like to get them as soon as possible. So I stop here for today's reading, and we see that how beautifully Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami's idea he proposes during the Vyasa Puja of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, when all of his co-brothers join into Vrindavan to offer offerings to Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati. Srila Prabhupada yet felt that the mission was not filled as per his spiritual master. He took this opportunity to convey again and unite his co-brothers, um, to uplift their spirit in order to fulfill the mission of Srila Bhakti Saraswati Thakur by preaching Krishna consciousness throughout India and throughout the world. Yet, Yet his efforts went in futile. None of them had given any importance or showed any interest of joining Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada. However, if you see that Prabhupada's vision was so beautiful, like in every aspect he has thought of Vaishnava and Krishna consciousness. As you see that, how was his vision put forth? He saw that every designation would be a Vaishnava, like the judge, the political leader, and so forth. So in that sense, we can see that the whole of the world he was seeing as in Vaishnava, to practice Vaishnavism. And in the meantime, an opportunity knocks for him as he sees that Japan indicates of conducting a spiritual conference where where Prabhupada takes this an opportunity, and he decides the topic of delivering 10th canto about the human spirit and the way he wants to present it. He has come up with a beautiful and a wide vision of delivering the commentaries with the pictures presentation. And the Japan minister also agrees for it, and he grants the permission and makes all the necessary facilitate for Prabhupada. Hope to see in